Archangel Michael says, there are conversations happening in hidden corners that were never meant to reach your ears. Today, words slipped out, raw, unfiltered, and soaked in truth. It was not whispered to a stranger, but to someone close, someone trusted. The brother heard it first, but heaven didn't allow it to stay buried there. What was said was carried into the air, lifted higher, until it reached the ears of those who watch over you. The angels leaned in, for this moment was too important to ignore. There was trembling in their voice when they spoke your name. Not out of weakness, but out of the weight of what they were finally releasing. A confession that had been locked for too long broke open today. And the message is not small, not ordinary. It is tied to your destiny, to your healing, to the path that heaven has been pushing you toward. What they said today has the power to change everything. Type Amen to get blessing 333. The confession carried both light and shadow. Part of it revealed the ache they've been hiding, the battles they've fought in silence. Yet another part revealed their fear of losing you, fear of failing you, fear of being seen for who they truly are. This is why the angels stirred the moment it was spoken. They knew you could not walk blind while such words existed in secret. You had to know. You had to feel the truth in your heart before you stepped forward. The brother listened carefully, his silence holding every ounce of weight. He didn't argue, didn't interrupt, because he knew these words were not casual. They were a cry disguised as conversation. And now, heaven is drawing your attention. Not to punish, not to frighten, but to prepare you. The revelation is coming closer, and when it arrives, you'll understand why it had to surface this way. Type Amen to get blessing 444. Archangel Michael says, do not ignore the signs that are building around you. This is not coincidence, but orchestration. The angels have placed you here, at this exact moment, to receive clarity. The confession revealed their longing, the unshakable pull they feel toward you. Yet it also exposed their mistakes, the moments they wish they could erase, the pain they caused without meaning to. Heaven wants you to hold this knowledge, not as a burden, but as a key. For once you hold it, you will see the truth behind their actions, the reason behind the silence, and the weight behind their choices. The angels whisper that the confession was a release for them, but a revelation for you. What they thought would stay between brothers has now become a divine transmission. Type Amen to get blessing 555. Their voice cracked when they admitted how much you still live in their mind. Every step they take, they measure it against you. Every silence, every pause, carries your name. But what shook heaven most was the part where they confessed regret. Regret not for loving you, but for the times they doubted, the times they turned away when they should have held on tighter. The brother's eyes softened as he listened, because he could see the weight of this truth. It wasn't just a casual chat, it was a heart unraveling in real time. And so heaven moved, to ensure these words would not remain trapped in a single room. They belong to you, because they carry your name, your story, your destiny. Type Amen to get blessing 666. The moment they let those words slip, the room shifted. Even the brother could feel that this was not an ordinary conversation, it was an opening of the soul. Heaven marked that hour, knowing it would become the turning point of your story. You've been waiting for a sign, and here it is. Not from strangers, not from distant messengers, but directly from the person who has been tied to your destiny. The angels say, their confession is proof that nothing hidden can stay buried forever. Archangel Michael says, when the truth surfaces, it may sting, but it also heals. What was spoken today was wrapped in pain but carried a hidden treasure for you. Inside their trembling words was the evidence of how deeply you matter. The angels are whispering to you now, listen. What they said about you was not meant to harm, but to reveal the truth of their heart. Heaven wants you to carry this message with strength, not with fear. Type Amen to get blessing 777. The brother could only sit there, absorbing every syllable. His silence was heavy, but inside he knew he was witnessing something sacred. Confessions like these are not made every day. Your person admitted they can no longer fight what they feel. They've tried to walk away, they've tried to distract themselves, but each time they circle back to you. It's as though heaven itself keeps pulling their heart in your direction. And though the words may not have reached you yet, the energy has. You felt the pull without knowing why. You've sensed their spirit reaching for you, even when distance separated you. The angels want you to understand, this is not coincidence. It's divine timing. The confession had to come forth now, because your season of clarity is beginning. Type Amen to get blessing 888. What they confessed was not only about love, it was about destiny. They revealed their fear of missing the chance heaven placed before them. They admitted they see you as part of their life's calling, not just a fleeting feeling. The brother leaned forward at that moment, recognizing the weight. He knew these words were not casual, they were sacred truths. They carried the fire of fate burning inside them. And now, those truths echo beyond that small room. The angels carried them into the atmosphere, ensuring they would not die in silence. That's why you're receiving this message now, you were always meant to hear it. What shakes the heavens is not just the love they confessed, but the way they trembled at the thought of losing you. Their fear was raw, their longing undeniable. Type Amen to get blessing 999. Archangel Michael says, take courage. The confession has already unlocked a new door in your story. The truth has been exposed, and now destiny is about to align in your favor. The words they spoke carried regret, but also hope. Regret for what has been lost, and hope for what still might come. The angels say, hope is stronger than regret when heaven is involved. The brother nodded quietly, not because he had answers, but because he felt the magnitude of the moment. He knew that once words like this are spoken, they cannot be taken back. And now, those words are yours to hold. Heaven wants you to receive them with faith, because they are a sign that the plan for your life is unfolding exactly as written. Type Amen to get blessing 111. The moment they whispered your name, the air grew heavy. It was as though even the walls leaned in to hear what was being spoken. Heaven's presence filled that space, because destiny was being unveiled. They admitted that no matter how much time passes, you remain the anchor of their thoughts. Their voice shook when they revealed how many nights they've replayed moments with you in their mind. The confession was drenched in longing, something too strong to be denied. The brother listened without judgment, sensing the depth of truth pouring out. He realized this was not about weakness, it was about surrender. Your person could no longer keep the weight of their emotions locked away. And now, the angels have carried that message into your life. They don't want you walking blind, unaware of how deeply you live in their soul. This is not ordinary love, it is heaven's design. Type Amen to get blessing 222. They confessed that even when they tried to move forward, something always pulled them back. Every step away only made the pull stronger. It was as though heaven itself was tying invisible strings around their heart, leading them back to you. The brother leaned closer, his eyes wide, because he could feel the fire behind the words. They weren't just speaking, they were burning with the weight of truth. Their heart had finally broken its silence. Your name echoed with reverence in that room. Not as a memory, not as a fleeting thought, but as a promise they could no longer ignore. Heaven wanted those words to reach you because they were soaked in destiny. And the angels remind you, this is the moment your clarity begins. Everything hidden is surfacing, everything dark is being brought into light. You are stepping into a season of undeniable truth. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Archangel Michael says, what was confessed today was not spoken carelessly. It was born out of sleepless nights, out of endless thoughts, out of the fire of a soul that cannot forget you. Heaven allowed it to be released now because you are ready to hear it. The brother's silence became a mirror, reflecting back the magnitude of every word. He didn't need to respond, his stillness was enough. For he knew heaven was moving inside that moment. Your person confessed that they fear the silence between you more than anything else. They fear what distance might destroy, what unspoken words might steal. That fear is what made their confession spill out today. The angels are telling you, don't dismiss this lightly. What they revealed carries a divine thread, a pull so strong it cannot be cut. Heaven itself has woven you into their story. Type Amen to get blessing 444. Their voice cracked when they admitted they never stopped caring. Even when pride tried to silence them, even when circumstances built walls, their hearts still whispered your name. The confession today was proof that truth cannot stay buried forever. The brother's chest rose and fell slowly as he listened, realizing these words would change everything. They weren't confessions of weakness, they were confessions of love so deep it reached into the heavens. Heaven's angels began moving the moment the words escaped their lips. For they knew this truth had to reach you, no matter how much time had passed, no matter how far the distance. Destiny cannot be silenced. And so, heaven is delivering this message to you now. What was once hidden is now placed in your hands. What was once whispered is now shouted by the heavens. Type Amen to get blessing 555. The confession grew heavier as they spoke, their eyes lowering as though they were releasing a burden carried for far too long. The brother sat still, realizing he was witnessing a moment that would ripple through time. Heaven had marked this moment as sacred. They admitted that no matter what they tried, they could not erase you from their spirit. Even when life forced them down other paths, your name followed them like a shadow. Their soul trembled with every memory of you. The brother placed his hand on his chest, feeling the sincerity in the words. He knew this was not a story of passing affection, but of something heaven itself had stitched into existence. The atmosphere became charged, as though angels were hovering near. And now, heaven is opening your ears to this truth. What was meant to stay in silence has been delivered to you, because it belongs to you. These confessions are part of your destiny. Type Amen to get blessing 666. Archangel Michael says, when words spoken in private reach your spirit, it is because heaven wants you to stand in truth. Nothing hidden can remain in the shadows when God has written your name in destiny. Your person trembled as they admitted they still see you in their dreams. Night after night, you appear, and every vision makes them restless when they wake. The dreams feel too real, too divine, to ignore. The brother nodded slowly, recognizing the pull of something greater than both of them. He knew this was not an earthly matter, it was a heavenly alignment revealing itself. And heaven wants you to know that you have always been in their prayers, even when they couldn't say it out loud. That is why the angels have chosen to pass these confessions directly to you. Type Amen to get blessing 777. Their confession carried both tears and fire. They spoke of moments they wish they could change, mistakes they wish they had never made. Yet within every regret was the cry of a heart that still longs for you. The brother leaned back, overwhelmed by the truth pouring out before him. He realized these words were unstoppable, like a river finally breaking through a dam. Once released, they could never be pulled back. And so the angels took those words higher, lifting them into the heavens so they could be preserved in eternity. They wanted to make sure you heard them in this exact season of your life. The time of waiting in darkness is ending. The truth has surfaced, and the angels want you to walk with clarity, not confusion. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Their voice shook when they admitted how deeply they fear losing you forever. That fear has haunted them more than silence ever could. It was carved into every word they spoke. The brother's eyes softened as he listened, sensing that these were not words of weakness, but of courage. It takes strength to admit when the soul cannot let go. Heaven's angels are speaking over you now. These confessions are not ordinary. They are divine signs that love written in heaven cannot be erased by time or distance. And so the words are placed before you, not to break you, but to strengthen you. You are walking into a season where truth will stand unshaken. Type Amen to get blessing 999. The moment their confession ended, silence filled the room. It wasn't an empty silence, but one charged with meaning, as if heaven itself was still echoing the truth of those words. The brother bowed his head, knowing he had heard something eternal. They admitted that you are the one thing in life they cannot release. No matter how far they go, no matter what changes, your presence clings to them like light clings to the dawn. Their confession was not just about love, it was about destiny. The angels stirred in that moment, carrying every word upward. What was spoken on earth was sealed in heaven. The truth was written across the skies. Your story with this person is not finished. And now, the message is in your hands. Heaven wants you to feel the weight of it, to know that you are not forgotten, not abandoned. Every word spoken proves how deeply you live in their soul. Type Amen to get blessing 111. Archangel Michael says, the time for hidden truths is over. The words they spoke are now part of your journey forward. You cannot walk without knowing how deeply they still carry you. Their voice cracked as they admitted that losing you would be their greatest regret. That thought shakes them more than anything else in life. It was carved into every syllable they spoke. The brother felt his chest tighten as he absorbed it all. He realized this was not just a confession but a turning point. The heavens had orchestrated this moment for your ears. And so the angels pass it to you now, reminding you that nothing spoken in truth ever dies. It lives, it grows, it finds its way back to where it belongs, you. Type Amen to get blessing 222. Tears filled their eyes when they said your name. They spoke it softly, with reverence, like a prayer whispered in the stillness. Every letter carried longing, every pause carried weight. The brother's silence was a shield, holding the sacredness of what he had just heard. He knew he could never repeat it carelessly, because these were words meant for your heart alone. Heaven's angels bent low in that moment, for they knew the confession had reached its highest point. It was no longer just a private conversation, it was a heavenly decree. And now, you stand here, receiving it. The angels have made sure it traveled through time, through distance, until it reached you at this exact moment. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Their final words broke the silence with trembling honesty. I cannot move forward without them. My heart is tied, my life is tied, my soul is tied. These were not just words, they were vows hidden in confession. The brother's eyes glistened as he realized the power of what had just been spoken. He could see that this was no fleeting emotion, but a destiny crying out. And heaven confirmed it in that instant. The confession became more than words, it became prophecy. Angels sealed it, ensuring you would know the truth at the right time. That time is now. The confession belongs to you, because it was always meant to reach your ears. Type Amen to get blessing 444. Archangel Michael says, take this message and walk boldly into your future. The truth is no longer hidden, it is revealed. What was spoken in silence now echoes across the heavens. Their confession is proof of what heaven has been showing you all along. You are chosen, you are loved, and you are central to their destiny. The angels remind you that no matter how much time has passed, the bond remains unbroken. What is written by heaven cannot be erased by earth. And so the message closes here, with heaven declaring, you are not forgotten. You are the heartbeat of their confession, the center of their truth, and the reason destiny is unfolding in your favor. Type Amen to get blessing 555.